Welcome to the AI for Career Success podcast by Curt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. This is episode 133. I'm Fred.
And I'm Daphne. It's great to be here.
Today we're really getting into the mind of a top CEO.
We are. Our source material is a really fascinating and deep interview with Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella. It was on the Stripe YouTube channel, and this was actually suggested by our producer, Curt Robbins.
And Nadella really covered the gamut, didn't he? I mean, from Microsoft history, like what Bill Gates was obsessed with in the 90s, all the way to corporate strategy today.
Yeah, exactly. So our mission here is to pull out the key strategic insights for you, the working professional.
Right. We want you to understand how AI is going to fundamentally change, everything from data management to your own workflow, and how you can get ready for what Nadella calls the AI factory era.
So to understand where we're going, Nadella says we actually have to look back, way back.
To Bill Gates in the 90s.
To his original obsession. He believed there was really only one category in all of software: information management. That's it.
That's fascinating. So his whole dream was this perfectly organized world.
A perfectly organized world. He wanted to, schematize everything, people, places, things. His ideal was putting it all in a SQL database. He apparently hated unstructured file systems, Word docs and random folders.
Because it's messy. It's unpredictable.
Exactly. But the problem for decades has been that reality is messy. People are messy. Your emails, your meeting notes, they just don't fit into a neat little relational box.
So that old promise of information at your fingertips was always just around the corner.
Always. So the question is, what changed? Why is AI finally starting to deliver on that promise?
And it's not that we suddenly got more organized.
Not at all. The breakthrough is computational. Nadella points to these deep neural networks.
And ones with billions of parameters.
Right. They finally give us a way to solve the problem without forcing a perfect structure onto the data first. The AI can just find the patterns in the mess.
It understands the chaos. So if the AI can read the enterprise mess, where does the real value come from? What's the killer feature for a company?
Well, it's not just a generic chatbot. The true killer feature is when a tool like Copilot can tap into what Microsoft calls the graph.
The graph being all the connections between your company's internal data.
Precisely. It's the email you sent 6 months ago, the draft in SharePoint, that conversation in Teams, and the calendar invite that ties it all together.
Okay, so it's the semantic web of everything your company knows and does.
Yes, and that knowledge, that context, used to be just lost in people's heads. You had to have been in the meeting to know what happened. But now AI gives you this massive enterprise-wide recall of these subtle connections.
That sounds like a massive competitive advantage. So why isn't every company doing this right now? What's stopping them?
Nadella has a great phrase for it. He says companies don't eat their data infrastructure vegetables.
Huh, I like that.
It's easy to upload one document, but to get that true, deep context, you need a semantically embedded data layer. You have to connect your communications, like M365, to your business systems, like your ERP.
And it all has to be secure.
That's the heavy lift. It has to respect all the data governance, all the permissions. You can't have an AI summarizing a confidential HR file for the wrong person. That security and governance piece is the hardest part.
Let's take a brief break for a special message from our producer, Curt Robbins.
Hi, this is Curt Robbins. First, thanks for listening. I truly appreciate your support. I want to let you know that I'm currently accepting new clients. My rates are affordable, and I have more than 25 years of experience working for enterprise companies like Microsoft, Northrop Grumman, Oracle, PNC Bank, FedEx, USAA, and Wells Fargo, among many others. If you want to improve your IT documentation and communications, hire me. I deliver fast, know how to use AI to improve efficiency and accuracy, and love going the extra mile to satisfy my clients. Thank you for subscribing and listening. Back to you, Daphne and Fred.
Welcome back to the AI for Career Success podcast.
So before the break, we were talking about infrastructure. Now let's talk about the software itself. I mean, there's no more durable piece of software than Excel.
None. And Nadella had some really great insights on why it has lasted so long.
He called it the world's most approachable programming environment.
Which is so true. Most people using it don't think they're programming, but they absolutely are. It's this powerful, Turing complete tool that just feels intuitive.
And that combination power plus intuition is key. But AI is now changing our idea of an intuitive workflow.
It is. Nadella calls the new workflow macro delegation, micro steering.
I love that. So you're not doing the manual work anymore. You're just delegating and then overseeing.
That's the agentic shift. You'll tell an agent or a team of agents to go work on a complex task for hours or maybe even days.
And then they just check in for course correction.
Exactly. They check in, you micro-steer them, you validate, you refine. Your job becomes strategic oversight.
Okay, so if work becomes about steering agents, then we need new kinds of cockpits to do that steering.
We do. And that's where Nadella sees the rise of highly refined IDEs, integrated development environments, for every profession.
So not just for software developers anymore.
Not at all. Think about it. A coder doesn't use Notepad. They need complex tools. Well, if an AI drafts a legal brief, the lawyer needs a lawyer IDE to see the changes, check the precedents, and steer the agent.
And what does that UI even look like? It can't be Word, Excel, and PowerPoint anymore.
He thinks all software will eventually converge on three things: an inbox, a messaging tool, and a canvas with a blinking cursor.
It's sort of heads-up display.
A heads-up display you use to manage the thousands of agents working for you, to microsteer them without drowning in notifications.
That raises a huge management question. If everyone is delegating to agents, how do leaders stay in touch with what's actually going on?
Yeah, the old style was wandering the halls.
Right.
Nadella says that for him, Teams is the new wandering the halls.
Meaning he's in the channels watching the work happen.
Yes. He says he lurks, not in a creepy way, but in an observing way. That's where he sees innovation happening, where he spots talent. He's observing the process, not just waiting for the polished final report.
Shifting gears a bit to the macro level.
Yeah.
People love comparing this AI boom to the dot-com bubble.
They do, and Nadella draws a really important distinction.
Back in 2000, the build-out was way ahead of demand. We had all that dark fiber, fiber optic cables that sat unused for years.
Exactly. The investment was speculative. Today, he says, the AI infrastructure build-out is immediately supply constrained. They cannot build data centers fast enough.
So the demand for GPUs, for power, for land permits,
Mhm.
it's all real and it's happening right now.
The demand is actually exceeding the supply. The investment is being consumed immediately by companies deploying real workloads.
And that scarcity, that real demand, it points to another big strategic idea he raised, which is corporate sovereignty.
Yeah, and this goes beyond just national data laws. This is about your company's specific competitive edge.
Because if every company can just plug into the same public API from OpenAI or Google, what makes you special?
Right. Your competitive edge becomes your ability to have your own specialized foundation model,
Okay.
one that's been fine-tuned with your organization's unique tacit knowledge.
So you take your company's secret sauce, the way you do things, your proprietary data, and you encode that into your own AI.
That's it. That becomes your new intellectual property. If you don't build this, you're stuck using generic tools for specialized work, and your core expertise just erodes over time.
So every leader needs to be asking, what is our unique knowledge and how do we build it into a compounding intelligence layer?
And that brings us to one last historical lesson. Nadella pointed out that even in open systems, like the early web, organizing layers always emerge.
Search engines. Google came in and organized the chaos of the open web, and in doing so, became the center of power.
History is repeating itself. Today, power is moving to new aggregators like chatbots and agent platforms. So companies have to focus on where the new workloads are emerging, like agentic commerce, not just on maintaining the assets that won in the last era, like a great website.
That is a powerful point about needing to adapt, which, it kind of brings us full circle, back to Excel. If you accept that Excel is basically the world's most approachable programming environment, here's a final thought for you to take away. The real opportunity might not be in buying some huge new piece of software. Instead, look at the mundane tools you already use every single day, that complex dashboard, that custom template, that little workflow script you built. Ask yourself, how can I use AI to enhance this specific tool to make it my own powerful, unique workflow environment? That's the first step into the AI factory era.
Thank you for listening to the AI for Career Success podcast from Curt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. We'll see you next time.